missed a loop. Come here. What did you do?
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. This is not what it looks like. It looks like you're dressing him. This is exactly what it looks like.
There was a sale at Bloomingdale's, and she...
We are back with the next Gilmore Girl episode. So we are talking season 1, episode 20, P.S. I Love. Overall, I like this episode. I really did. There was really one main plot point. So it was Rory being crabby and just kind of going off on everyone. So let's dive into the specifics. In this episode, Rory is going off on everyone because she is still not willing to face what happened with her and Dean. And everyone's kind of like tiptoeing around the fact that they're broken up and they don't want to bring up Dean to her. She doesn't want to talk about it. She still hasn't told anyone what actually happened to them and why they actually broke up. And so she's just going off. She's arguing with Lorelai. She's arguing with Lane. She's just mad at everyone and at the world. And you kind of see like her just kind of go off. In the beginning of the episode, Rory refuses to go to Josie's market because she doesn't know if Dean's working. So Lane goes. And Lane tells her, Wednesday, you're good. He doesn't work. But then also it turns out that Lane and Dean have been paired together for a science project. And Lane doesn't tell Rory about it because she doesn't know how to bring up Dean or even mention him. So she's just like, I gotta work with my science partner. And so Rory shows up at Lane's house and sees that it's Dean. And so then she gets mad and leaves. And so Lane follows her like, wait, I didn't know how to tell you. And she's like, I don't need you to tiptoe around me. I don't need you to protect me. I can protect myself, essentially. And so they get into an argument. Rory leaves. The next day, Lane shows up at Rory's bus stop and she gets her coffee. She's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know how to tell you. And then Rory just goes off on her again. Then we jump to Rory and Lorelai's argument. And basically, Rory's just mad at the world. So she goes off on Lorelai because at school, Max Medina. I feel like you can't just say Max Medina normally. You gotta say Max Medina. Like how you said it on the voicemail a few episodes ago. Okay, but anyway, so Max Medina basically has Rory stay after for class, and then he mentions how he knows about her breakup and how him and Lorelai are actually talking again. Rory didn't know that, so that's already makes her mad too. Side thing is, I feel like in this episode, you see how much Max Medina cares about his students because he makes Rory stay after for class, and he's like, I know your grades are good, I know you're doing well academically, but how are you doing as a person? How are you doing as an individual? And you just kind of see that like teacher relationship and how he actually cares and wants the students to be well-rounded and, you know, feeling good in all aspects of their life, not just academically. So you see amazing teacher, Max Medina. And so let's jump back. So then Rory gets mad at Lorelai, and Rory is kind of cruel in this in this scene because she mentions how, oh, you're just gonna throw away Max Medina like you do all your other relationships because you've never really been in one. You don't know how to. You have commitment issues. Like she's throwing all this stuff in. And I mean, given it's kind of true, but it's also kind of rude to be saying that to your mom of all people. And so she goes off, and then Rory runs away and ends up at the grandparents' house because she's just mad at everyone. She's like, I need to get out of Stars Hollow. I just need to go away. So she leaves without telling her mom anything. So Lorelai's like freaking out. She's like, where is my daughter? She said she was going to be home. Where is she? Like she's freaking out, which as a parent, if you think about it from their perspective, you would be scared to death too. If your child's like, okay, I'll see you later. And they don't show up. They don't tell you where they went. There's no note. There's nothing. Like you would be freaking out like Lorelai. Rory went to her grandparents' house. And so Emily calls, and Emily in this episode was kind of like just inserting herself a little bit, in my opinion. And Emily is kind of proud, I think, of the fact that Rory came to her when Lorelai and Rory had an argument. And I mean, you kind of see what happened last episode where Emily actually made the room for Rory, and now Rory's actually going to use it. So I feel like Emily is kind of like happy about that and kind of gloating in a sense. And so she basically calls Lorelai, and she's like, hey, your daughter just showed up. She's going to spend the night. And Lorelai's like, hey, I'm going to come get her now. And Emily's like, no, she doesn't want to talk to you. Like, she's basically like inserting herself in the middle of Rory and Emily, which I have mixed feelings about because I'm like, in a grandparent sense, I think it's kind of good because, you know, you want your grandparents to look out for the grandchild and kind of like be a sounding board as they need to be. But as like a parent and like the Lorelai and Rory relationship, I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it because like Emily's like trying to get in the middle. And so anyway, Emily's like, yeah, you can come see her tomorrow after school. And so Lorelai's like, fine, whatever. And basically then Lorelai goes off on Dean. And she tells him off in the grocery store, which in itself is so wrong. Because, I mean, you got to think about it. Dean is still a 16-year-old. And in real life, what adult is just going to go off on a 16-year-old because they broke up with their daughter? Like, really, this is kind of like where Lorelai overstepped and where she was too emotionally invested in the relationship to be doing this. So I didn't really like that. And it just makes you feel bad for Dean because Dean, honestly, he didn't really do anything wrong. He said, I love you. And then they broke up and the town is just mad at him just because they don't know what happened. Rory's letting it go on. And they're like, so Dean's mad at the town because like, I hate this town. I hate the people. I hate everyone here because they're just being mean to him just because everyone's mad that they broke up. And so then Lorelai finds out from Dean that Dean told her that he loved her and Rory didn't say anything. So then Lorelai drives to Hartford and she's like, yo, we gotta talk. So then her and Rory kind of make up. And I do like how they ended it because it kind of had Rory going around to the people she wronged in this episode, which was mainly Lorelai and Lane. And she apologizes and they kind of talk it out and kind of proceed forward, which, I mean, if you do something wrong, you apologizing is the best. Like, you know, man, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but I will be aware. So yeah, so she does that. So I really like that ending. And I also liked how at the end, Lorelai is finally telling people that her and Max are back together and dating because she hadn't been telling anyone that before. And so Max was like, I'm telling everyone. Why are you telling no one? Like, are you not as into this relationship as I am? And so you kind of see, like, I think the conversation with Rory when Rory went off on her about her commitment and everything, and Max bringing that up kind of makes Lorelai feel like I need to take a chance. And so she's ready to dive in with the relationship with Max and Dina, which, yay! Also, in this episode, is you have kind of like a love triangle between Luke, Lorelai, and Rachel. And Lorelai kind of oversteps a little bit in like her touchiness of Luke, and she like goes shopping because it's Rachel's birthday coming up. Luke doesn't know what to get her. He wants to get her this terrible Catmans, and Lorelai's like, no, you can't do that. And so Lorelai goes shopping. She actually gets clothes for him too, and she's like feeling all over him. And Rachel actually walks in where Lorelai's like touching all on him, and she's like, huh. So it's kind of, you're starting to see like Lorelai kind of be an issue, which I think is a reason Luke and Rachel break up, which I'm sure we're going to be seeing soon. But yeah, so you kind of see boundaries getting kind of messed up in that sense, and the fact that Luke was just letting Lorelai touch him all over the place while she's dressing him. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next episode as we continue on this saga, and we're almost done with season 1, so yay! Okay, see you guys soon.
This has been another episode of Real Talk with Noelle.